You're back, Rory Barnes. Back, the return of the Barnes.
I am.
Barnaby's back. Rory Van Barnable.
Oh my god. Yeah, couldn't stay away.
Oh, how you been? What's been happening?
Alright, be better.
I know. Well, I mean, the reason we thought we'd do this podcast is because of current world events
Yes.
and what that means for the music industry and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
everyone involved really, yeah.
I mean,
freelancers and bands and...
I mean, it's kind of hitting everyone. It's not
Yeah.
really sparing any victims.
No, I think everyone's in the same boat, and I think people are slowly realising that rather than looking at it selfishly. Edinburgh's always been a tight-knit music scene, but I think it's very obvious now more than ever how tight-knit they are. I mean, I was saying earlier, like our Facebook timelines and Instagram stories and everything's just clogged up with Sneaky Pete's. Just like everyone's sporting them, which is class, because I mean, Sneaky Pete's is a staple bit of Edinburgh.
Yeah, because they're doing is that a crowdfund for their staff?
Yeah, it's not even like so they can... I mean, I'm sure it will cover basic costs that they can't get away with not paying, but I mean, it's really just to pay for their staff.
Yeah, well, I mean, the issue is they can't get insurance, can they?
Yeah, exactly.
What is it? The government have to force them to close?
Yeah.
For them to be able to claim off the insurance.
Yeah, exactly. And they're an independent venue, unlike like others in Edinburgh. Who are owned by like big corporate companies. Like Sneaky's is on its own, really. It's just Nick and his team. So the fact that so many people have been willing to pay, like even small money, is like so useful for them.
If everyone chips in a little bit, it kind of...
Yeah, it's just like any sort of crowdfunder, like £1 to £100, and it makes a difference.
How long have they been in there? How long has Sneaky Pete's been like a thing in Edinburgh?
I don't know. I mean, I've only been in Edinburgh for 4 years now, coming up, so it's been there ever since. But I think it's like 20 years or something.
But as Sneaky Pete's?
Yeah, or maybe a bit less, maybe 10. I don't know.
I think there's been a venue in there from quite a while.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s at least, I think.
Yeah, at least.
Probably similar to Tuts. When was Tuts? 1990, I think, wasn't it?
It was their 30 year anniversary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tuts as well. Obviously they're DF, but I mean, that's not exactly, like, everything's gonna shit there as well, so...
I mean, any venue's probably gonna be...
Yeah. Just
struggling.
A bit fucked.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not just, like, venues, it's, like, everything. Like...
Gig photographers.
Yeah, definitely. But just, like, bands and even, like, non-music related stuff, like pubs, restaurants, just, like, small businesses, like... cafes and stuff, everything's a bit up in the air. No one really knows what they should be doing, so...
Yeah, well, you see the thing on This Morning?
I did not.
With Bojo's dad.
No, oh,
and he's
yeah,
like, I'm still going to go down the pub anyway.
Yeah, even though that's exactly what
he's advised. Well, one of my pals works in a pub, and they were saying that it's pretty dead at the moment, but the only folk coming in are older people.
Yeah, kind of people who don't watch or don't believe anything that people are saying. It's just like you're the...
But do you not think that's more of our generation? More our generational type thing? People not believing the government? I feel like the old people are kind of a bit more...
I feel like, yeah, but also like our generation's so obsessed with social media that, I mean, you see one thing online and like you get worried about it or stressed about it because of the way it's written or like presented online. So like coronavirus on the internet is like this horrible thing, and it's brutal, but it's like...
It's been trending every day on Twitter, I think.
Yeah.
Last while.
But I mean, it's just like everything's negative about it. Whereas like there's a few things now that's popping up that is positive, and it's like the water in Venice is now like clean.
Is
for
it?
the first time? Yeah.
Have you been to Venice?
Never, but I want to go now.
I went, and it wasn't very clean. The water wasn't.
Yeah, but it's like
tasty.
you couldn't see anything, but now you can see like fish and everything.
Can you actually?
Yeah.
I remember I went on a gondola and it was all pretty mucky.
Yeah.
It's still lovely in the sunshine, cruising down.
I want to go back to my point just then about saying I want to go now. I want to go once this is all over, not like right now.
Now would be a good time to go because I imagine it'd be fairly quiet and fairly cheap.
Cheap flights, that's for sure. No, but yeah, there's a few positive things. It's like the last coronavirus hospital in China's been shut down because they don't have enough patients. And like,
Do you think it could?
I mean, yeah.
Do you think it could be a bit premature though?
Yeah, I mean,
you don't want to close it down and then suddenly someone flies back into China who has coronavirus and it kicks all
that's
off
true.
again.
But I mean, that's just turning a a good thing into a bad thing, isn't it?
You know me, I'm very pessimistic about everything.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good. It's like the number of people in Korea as well. Like the daily amount of people coming back with like positive results for coronavirus has dropped, so less people are coming positive. But then to look at it in your view, it could just mean that everyone's got it, so but less people. But I mean, in situations like this, you got to try and look at it positively and look at the outcome, which is hard.
Well, we were speaking about this earlier. It's hard to tell when this is all gonna come to a close.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Very uncertain. We're obviously cancelling shows, both of us at the moment.
Yeah.
And looking to reschedule, and it's when do you reschedule a show for?
Yeah, it's like you see everyone kind of. There's a few people I saw online rescheduling shows for like September time.
I was thinking August, September, yeah.
But I mean, it could be like next year. Or there was something saying like this could be around for like 18 months. 18 months is fucking ages. Like that's a very long time. 18 months
is longer than I've been doing Vintage Society.
Exactly. That's scary because you've got like such an image and a name in the music now, and that's like it's like Swim School. I haven't been a band for 18 months.
Yeah,
and you look at them now.
They've been like a year.
Yeah,
year about.
So it's just like, I mean, that's just one example. It's just scary. It's like the amount of stuff you can do in 18 months is ridiculous. But
what were you doing a year and a half ago?
Oh God. Well, yeah, I'd still be in uni. I'm still in uni now, but a year
technically.
Yeah. Not physically, but
they're in spirit.
A year and a half ago. What month was a year and a half ago?
A year and a half ago would have been, what's the month before October? September 2018. I would have just started uni.
September 2018. I think I might have been doing a tour with Only the Poets, like my first proper tour.
That's pretty good.
I think so.
But then, what you've done since in the last 18 months.
Like I wouldn't have even imagined being in the position where I was a few weeks ago. Mental. At the same time, yeah, quite scary.
How were how many shows did you end up doing with Twin?
Only the 2, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, 2 shows working with one of like Scotland's most well-known and
biggest exports, probably.
Yeah, it's pretty mental.
Twin, Biffy, and Franz Ferdinand are probably kind of the biggest of the last.
Yeah, it's 3 like statement bands, I would say. Deacon Blue in there as well, if you want.
Yeah, I mean they're a bit older though.
That kind of genre of music as well, like the genre of music we both love. Like they're kind of the 3 big bands.
Yeah, I'm quite partial to a bit of Franz Ferdinand. I feel like they get a bit overlooked sometimes.
Oh yeah, you just listen to a couple tunes, whereas they've actually got
those first 3 albums are fucking sick.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah, but I mean, working with Twin and like getting to meet the guys as well is just pretty mad. It's actually quite funny. The first time I saw Craig, the drummer's Instagram profile, I thought he was just a photographer. I thought he was shooting for Twin. I did not realise that he was
the drummer.
He was the drummer.
Have they had the same lineup the whole way through? Or
I think so. I think
they're down to a 3-piece now, though, are they? They used to be 4.
They used to be 4. They're now officially a 3-piece, but Barry still plays with the band.
Just isn't involved in the writing process.
Yeah, and isn't like in the photos and stuff like that. He'll still be in the live shots. I mean, he was like when I was taking them, but I mean,
just in the promo pics and all that.
Yeah. But I mean, that's probably like the bit that you probably don't want to be in.
I guess it's all the hassle and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of more free time to go and. I mean, the money's in the live shows now as well, isn't it?
Exactly, and like touring's probably the best part of music, and he gets to do all that. I mean, he did get to do all that. We'll see how long we have to wait, but.
I quite like studio. I mean, you must have been in a few studios in your time. There's quite a nice atmosphere in a studio.
Oh yeah, it's good, but I mean,
it's a very creative place.
Nothing better than like a live show.
Yeah, must be a lot more chilled out shooting a band in a studio when they're recording compared to.
Yeah, I mean sometimes, unless there's like time limits on.
What you like an hour to come in and shoot?
Or... Yeah, or for the band themselves, like if they've only booked like a 10 till 5 slot or something like that, like it's probably more difficult. But I like a year ago. Well, at some point last year, I went down to England with Amber Run, who like I was a huge fan of and still am. But like during when I was like 17, 18, listening to them, so I got to go into the studio when they recorded their new album,
And you do
And
some pictures and stuff.
yeah, just like floated about, hid in the corners, and took some pictures, which was really cool.
Did you do that when Yonaka were making their album as well? Were you filming bits and bobs as well?
I filmed the tour. I didn't film them recording the album because they like self-produced it all themselves.
Did they?
Yeah. Like they all did it in their little studio in Brighton, which is like unreal because it's a charted album. So
Did they produce other bands as well? Or?
I think Alex, the bass player in Yonaka, is doing stuff, but I don't really know who with or anything. But I mean, it's pretty cool. And I think they got it mastered by someone else, but
It's a good album.
did pretty much everything else. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a banger.
We've spoken about mastering here before because I always find it quite interesting how you can get your album mastered by people who do like the 1975 and everything.
Yeah. It's just like some of the people work with like these mental bands, but then also they're just like, I guess it's kind of like,
But they'll do like smaller ones as well.
yeah, it's
I
cool.
find it quite funny sometimes that when you get a band that are kind of younger that get really excited because they're getting like mastered at, Abbey Road or getting mastered by someone
Yeah.
who's done the 1975.
It's all just like the name and like persona about something, but it's just the guy doing a job. Like
Yeah,
it's like bands though, isn't it? It's
probably
like,
less creative and more routine.
yeah. Like they know what they're doing, know what they need
You've
to look
got
out
a
for.
job
And
that you need
stuff.
to go in and it's like editing an interview. There's
Yeah.
not much creative about it. You just kind of you go in with some intentions and rules that you've got down to make it as good
Yeah,
as possible.
exactly.
The creative part's kind of done.
Yeah. I get like I'd find that really difficult having to like edit something that I didn't help create.
Have you ever edited like someone else's photos for a
Um,
band or anything?
Not that I can think of. I've done like video stuff with clips done by other people.
Have you found that?
I just found it really boring because of like, I think the way that I try and film stuff like more emotional and like more atmospheric and stuff. So to watch go through someone else's content is a bit difficult because you don't know about it and you don't like remember how you felt or like don't remember everything about it when you were filming it. So it's a bit different.
Do you have a routine for like you're editing your own pictures and stuff though?
It's kind of like.
Do you have? I mean,
mean-
you maybe you do for a particular band. Do you like you have a certain aesthetic you want to
so
make
like,
for them?
So I've created like since starting I've like kind of worked on a preset. So for certain bands I use like certain presets, but then you kind of just like apply the preset, then make a few adjustments and things like that. Yeah,
What sort of stuff are you adjusting? Just depending on like
just
variables?
like depends on the lighting and everything like that, and also like if a band wants to use like certain colors and things like that more than others. So like Twin are really running with like the red, blue, and green theme. That's like their album, like colors.
I like it when bands do that and they have like an aesthetic that they
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think-
run with and go with.
It works really well. So that was like what I was really trying to push, but it benefited because they had their own lighting show and stuff. So the main lights were red, blue, and green, which are like three of the most brutal colors to shooting. So it wasn't that beneficial for me, but it made the photo editing a bit better to match their like style and stuff like that. Yeah, but then I guess if it's like just shooting a live band like for a one-off, I've kind of like created my own aesthetic, and then like I just apply presets I've made and then edit it a bit depending on the lighting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you Premiere? What do you-
I
what do you edit on?
use Lightroom for editing photos and then Premiere Pro for videos. Yeah.
Getting your 60 days free with
Yeah, I know.
coronavirus.
Yeah, I
Pretty
know
good.
that.
Good
That's.
deal.
I saw someone share it online, so then I was like, I've got to do it. So I went, did it. It was fairly easy, but then felt like I don't know, like that person might not be able to reach like 2 or 3 people that I could reach. Like he could only reach maybe an English photographer, so I could share it up here and like get Scottish
Yeah.
people to save some
I've
money.
seen
as well.
I've seen a lot of folk kind of like Rosie who shoots book club and all that. Sort of
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
and stuff
Rosie
like that.
Skull, yeah, she shared it. But yeah, there's like a few people. Yeah, a few people have like said like thanks so much, but I mean, I didn't do anything. I just like reshared. So it's like it's not me giving them 63 days.
You need to get some commission.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, and especially now more than ever. It's like Adobe, please. But yeah, I guess that's like incredible from a company like Adobe to offer. I know it's like we don't know how long this is going to go for, but I mean
60 days is a pretty good.
60 days. Yeah, I mean you can save like £100 basically, which is a lot currently when you've got no income.
How's things coming with the prints as well?
They're coming soon. Hopefully when this goes out, it'll be live. I think the main difficulty at the minute is trying to get hold of people to make sure it's okay for me to use them. I'm contacting every band to make sure it's alright for me to
Are you finding response rates maybe like a little bit slower at the minute, or?
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, that's like, I mean, they're probably, I'm contacting fairly like busy people anyway on day to days. So like,
yeah,
to contact them now more than ever when they're probably having to go through like payment of staff or like cancellations,
trying to reschedule shows and everything. Yeah, everyone's stressed out to fuck.
Like the last thing they want to do is like email a photographer. Like we're the last people want to contact anyway. So, I mean, doing it now is probably not the thing that they're thinking about. But I've had a fair amount of responses, and like a lot of the people I've managed to contact the bands directly, like people like Poets and Retro and Saint Phoenix and stuff like that, have all been like super supportive for it. Usually I'm really against selling prints because of once you shoot a band and if they're paying you to shoot, it's kind
of their image, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, it's their property. And for me to try and make money off something that they've already paid for, I find is a bit cheeky in like a normal situation. But I mean, at the minute, I've got no source of income now. So like,
what actually is the print itself?
So it's just like a physical copy of a photo.
Just kind of put it on like shiny gloss paper.
Yeah, basically. So I mean, it's like, it's a good thing to have up hanging in your.
I've
got
a few photographs up, not prints, but like photographs up on the wall, like physical kind of matte ones.
It's basically the same. It's the same thing, but it's
just blown up to a bigger scale.
Yeah. So like the kind of size that I'm looking at now is like 12x8, which is kind of just a bit similar to an A4 piece of paper. But then
decent size.
Yeah, it's good. But then I'm looking at like maybe trying to do like A3 and stuff as well. But the problem is
life size.
Yeah, life size. Problem is though, it's like is that just the costings. But then you can also be like, the problem is, how long are these print stores going to be open for? Like how long are postmen going to be like delivering stuff? Like, I don't know this. So then,
do you think it's going to get worse before it gets better?
100%. And it's scary. It's like,
I wonder what the long term implications of it are as well. Like even when bands return, if no one has any money, who's going to be looking for new press shots and all that?
Yeah, exactly. And people are probably going to be scared of going to like live shows. So live shows are probably going to be on hold for a little while, like going into like busy areas and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, gotta stay positive. Maybe people, when it all blows over, like maybe people will be like, fuck, I really miss going to gigs. Like,
what if it never blows over? Stuck in coronavirus constantly for the rest of our lives.
Classic Alex. Nah, gotta be positive, man. It's a shit situation, but if we can, like,
at least everyone's in it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Be better than than it was just one person, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Like, think the fact that everyone's going through it and everyone's dealing with all the negative stuff at the same time is better than just you going through it yourself. Yeah.
Have you had a lot of folk reach out, or?
A few people have like asked how I'm doing, and like, but I guess like I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for like sympathy because of everyone else going through the same thing, like we just said.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
I mean, who is safe from this? Is there anyone that's safe from this? Or?
The rich.
Wow.
But I mean, I say that. I mean, the only reason why they're a bit safer than anyone with money saved up could be a bit safer than someone who doesn't.
I mean, most folk aren't going to have enough money to pay like rent 3 months in ahead.
Exactly. Like anyone in our situation, and then mainly like people in music, like we're not doing it for the money. Like I've never set out to do like a tour or anything for the money. So yeah, I'm not exactly like the super, like in a super great situation at the minute. But I mean, yeah, I mean, people who have money saved up will be able to like go and buy all the food they need and sit in house for like a month or however long.
You done any stockpiling? You got yourself some tin goods?
I'm lucky that my flatmate works at Tesco.
So
I feel like I'm going to try and like bargain with him and see if he can like get the first dibs on toilet roll and pasta.
What is the current toilet roll situation? When is it coming back?
What, for in my flat or in
life? I'm currently down to 5 rolls and I'm starting to panic.
Well, we were down to like 4 pieces of roll.
What do you mean 4 pieces?
Like 4 sheets, yeah. And I was like bricking it, but he
quite literally.
Yeah, quite literally, yeah. I was like trying to find a coffee shop that. No, I'm kidding.
Going in all the pubs.
Yeah, just
no one else is in the pubs. They're just going in and
stealing rolls. No, he came through with a bag of 16. So we're good for a few days.
That's you sorted.
Yeah, I know. But no, I think I'm not
for a few days.
Yeah, you got to that late. I think
I'm currently about 5 seconds behind
yeah.
everything.
No, I think I've not really stockpiled, but at the same time, like I'm doing that out of hope that I don't have to. But then also, like yesterday, we were queuing in Tesco. Like there was a huge queue in Tesco to get in, and then to like pay for stuff. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit. It made it a bit more real than
Maybe seen the photos and videos and stuff from folks' stories, like in Edinburgh kicking them, there's just nothing left.
Oh yeah,
it was Liam's story the other day actually I saw.
Yeah,
I think
like,
he was like in Lidl and it's just
yeah.
nothing.
There's like no toilet roll, no bread.
No, like he was in the freezer section. There was no
really?
food left.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was just Hawaiian pizzas or something like that.
I think it was pineapple. Yeah.
Yeah, God.
Frozen pineapple and that's it.
Yeah, it's scary, but I mean, just see how it goes. I mean, things are still open at the minute, so I think
but no one can go out.
Yeah.
Have you been mostly staying in, or what have you been up? Have you been trying to get out and
like? I was trying to look at things where it's kind of like you want to stay in as much as possible. I mean, you want to stay away from like crowded areas as much as possible. But I mean, there's nothing stopping you, I guess, like going out for walks, like getting fresh air and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, I don't know if I should be doing that.
Till they bring the military in the streets.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what I mean. It's like, can we do that? Are we allowed to do that? Should we be doing it? Like, I don't know.
I don't think it's healthy to stay inside.
I get cabin fever in like after like a few hours.
I normally go out at night. That's when I kind of quiet. There's no one kicking about.
Yeah, might do that. I went down to Portobello Beach yesterday
at night, 1 a.m.
Oh no, I went at like 10, so it was fairly busy. But I mean, I say fairly busy. It was nowhere near as busy as it usually is. So
yeah, I mean, when we were out on what was it, Saturday night, and we were sitting in TV, and it was
dead. There was like no one there.
It kind of busy up a wee bit, but it was
but then it closed.
Yeah, they closed it early as well because it was so quiet.
Which is mad. Saturday night in Edinburgh in a student union, like, just weird.
It's not good.
It's not good at all.
Oh well. On a more positive matter, Whitecard. What's going on there? Because have you been formulating the idea for Whitecard in your mind the last time we spoke?
Yeah, I mean, I've wanted to do it for years, really.
Why now then? Why was the time now to launch?
Well, launched it in January, kind of like pre-planned it all in November, December. But it was kind of like, obviously, I'm in my last year of uni, so it's kind of it's a unit that we have to do it for honours project where you have to kind of set up a business and like run it. And a lot of people are doing like publishing or like syncs and stuff like that, promotion companies. And I was just like, well, this is finally like an opportunity to do band management, which I really wanted to do. But also at that time I had found one act, Cameo Habitat, that I was like, I loved them, but as a photographer the only thing I can do is like make sure they can acknowledge me and then hope that they ask for a photo shoot rather than me like approaching them, because I never do that. But it's like kind of waiting for them. Whereas,
and did they get in touch and say?
Nah, still haven't asked. But I mean, it doesn't matter because of now, like, I approached them about managing them because I could and I had a reason to.
Yeah.
But then I think they had a fair bit of interest at the same time, and yeah, I think they've been approached in the past by a couple of people as well, but they never really went through with it, or things kind of fell through. And then I went and met Rowan and Oscar. We just went for a coffee and a chat, and it was kind of like, it wasn't like me being like, let me manage you. It was more just getting to know them and chatting to them, and then kind of pitch the idea of like me helping them rather than like labeling it as management, which, I mean,
were they responsive fairly quickly straight away?
Yeah, they were keen for it straight away, which was good. Yeah, it was pretty, like, it was cool. It felt good as well because of, at the minute, like, I've only really dabbled in management like once or twice, and like they were all very short stints, and like I wouldn't even call it management. I would call it like helping friends out, kind of. So
I mean, you kind of managed Retro before they got picked up by proper management, didn't you?
Again, that was kind of like just helping out, like,
probably learned a bit from it though.
Oh, 100%. Even just like everything they've gone through, like, and since like starting being a band, or me starting being involved with them, kind of felt like I was like a fifth member and kind of like giving my opinion, or like.
I mean, you've been there for a long time.
2 and a bit years now, yeah. I mean, from a living room to 1,000 people or whatever.
We still need to get that story done for the zine.
Yeah, I know.
Or the website now, whatever ends up happening.
Yeah, can you do zines now?
No one bought them before the pandemic. Don't
Yeah.
know if anyone will buy them after.
But no, it's just kind of like, I would say that was kind of like helping out, or like at least just trying to like give an opinion on stuff. And then I would say the kind of same with like Fabric Bear, kind of help them a little bit, but more as just like a mate.
Yeah.
And then there was a project for a little while from the two guys in what was Stop the Rain, who are Avira now.
They were very good on Friday night.
Yeah, unreal.
One of the last shows I'll probably see for a while.
Yeah, I know. It's a big shame. But I mean, good way to end it. That Dancing Table show was absolutely insane.
How were those? I mean, those 2 dates must have been...
They're two of the best. I would say that's possibly the best show I've seen at Mash House. As in, like, from crowd reception.
The whole
and
bottom
everything.
floor was bouncing. That bit at the end when they get everyone to go down.
Yeah. I mean, that's
everyone was down.
Yeah, that's kind of like such an easy thing to do, and like a lot of bands do it.
Apart from the old lady at the back.
Yeah. This is the classic parents stood at the back.
But I mean, I don't know if the old lady looked a bit like...
Yeah.
Maybe going down on the floor wasn't a good idea.
Couldn't get back up. But no, like that, it was unreal, and it's definitely the best show that I've seen in Aberdeen. I've not done many, but I mean that one, and when they played with Catfish as well in Aberdeen, that's like unreal. But yeah, the boys in Avira did a project called Future First Hand, and we only did 2 shows, and they were good. They were like really good shows. Released a couple tunes, and that was like a lot of fun. But then they that was when they started getting management interest in things, so then went and focused on Stop the Rain and now Avira at the time, which was probably a smart move. But yeah, I was pretty gutted that finished. But then...
How long ago was that?
That was 2018. Yeah, 2018.
Not that long ago.
Yeah, no. So I mean, the project lasted about 4 or 5 months, but I mean, I think they were planning on it for quite a while, but things with like getting the right recordings and things done took a while. But they were really good, really class. Tunes are still out, so you can have a listen if you want.
What was the name?
Future First Hand. Really,
I'll make a note of this in the edit.
They're like proper like poppy kind of.
Avira kind of more pop rock, I guess, aren't they?
Yeah, I feel like it's more music that Blair and Kyle and Sam like want to play, but they maybe felt like they couldn't.
With Avira?
Yeah. I feel like Stop the Rain was like, it was good, but watching them on stage now compared to the past, it's like they just look so much more happier.
They're very happy after that show as well.
Yeah, they're buzzing. And I feel like they're all just like, they're the people they wanted to be, but felt like maybe they couldn't at the time. And just like, it's proper, like, it's so good to see. Because like, I've known them for a while now, and it's so good to see them actually like enjoying it and doing well as well.
How did we get onto that? We were chatting about management.
Yeah. So White Cord, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Management and promotions. That's kind of the thing I'm doing. I'm managing 2 bands. Well, a band and an artist, Cameo Habitat, and a girl called Naomi Munn as well. And then trying to host shows, but I mean, a bit of a standstill there at the minute.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It remains to be seen what will happen in regards to...
Actually having to postpone the Cameo headline at Sneaky's today, like the announcement's out today, which is a big shame because of the tune that they've got coming out. Reside comes out at midnight tonight as well.
Good tune.
Thank you. I mean, on behalf of the boys,
well,
thank you. I did nothing, but
do you not even contribute anything to the middle eight?
No,
not even a line in the middle eight.
I don't know. Rowan didn't give me the chance. Maybe next time.
But he's a good songwriter.
Yeah, unbelievable. And that's all I said as well. Like, I was a fan of them before getting involved, and I think that's crucial. Like I would pay and go and watch them and go and like just enjoy being
definitely.
there.
I think they've come a long way live wise as well.
Yeah,
because I saw them supporting Parley Ammo.
Yeah.
Last year, and comparing that to Dancing on Tables was quite a...
I think they just have a bit more confidence, and I don't know if that's like me coming in and giving them a bit of a boost. Like, it could not say me being the reason, but like...
You're quite good at, I was going to say sorting them out. I don't know if that's the...
Well,
kind of keeping them organised.
They mentioned that in the interview they did with you, though. Like...
yeah, this was again.
Yeah, like, just kind of making them realise that they're not just like there to play everything and anything, like putting value to themselves. And like just kind of like bigging them up and making them a bit more confident with themselves.
I mean, they've done really well streaming wise already.
Yeah, like it's unbelievable, and hopefully Reside can do the same. As like,
If it flops, all eyes will be on Rory Barnes.
Yeah, I mean the last 3 tunes have been class, so I'm a bit worried about this one.
Did you do the? You have to you did the promo push and everything for it? Or?
Yeah, we kind of like we didn't like swamp social media with promo. I feel like if you overdo it with some things, like people will lose interest straight away.
Did you send out to like a lot of blogs and all that jazz?
Yeah, I mean,
how much? This is actually a question for someone on the opposite end of the side.
Yeah,
How much do you think a blog writing a review of a tune actually?
I think.
Do you think it only works if a lot of little blogs do it, or?
Yeah, I think it's like the audience that if the blogs are right, if it's the right audience for you, like if it's a huge audience to a blog, but like Cameo are like a shoegazy kind of band, but if they're like getting reviewed by some like heavy metal blog, like it's not going to be that beneficial to them. Whereas if they're getting reviewed by like a small like indie blog like loves like new tunes and stuff like that, that'll be so much more beneficial. It kind of just depends on what audience you're trying to do. And I kind of realized that when I was emailing people, I was like, actually, like that is a big blog, but will it be beneficial, or would like I tried to get in contact with some big magazines and stuff like that. Just through doing like photography, I've managed to like earn those contacts, but I also felt like maybe if we did get a feature or anything like that, it would just be swamped over by.
You don't want to do it too early either, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're 4 singles in? How old are they? Like 18, 19?
Yeah, like they're all just gone into first year of uni, so all just like kind of 18. So it's like
it's always trying to find the right
stuff.
time to.
Yeah,
hit.
I feel like they were a band for about a year and a bit before I got involved, and I feel like this is kind of like, I don't want to sound arrogant about it, but like I feel like this is like them restarting as a band and like properly going for it. Like the plan is to like play Sneaky Pete's as a headliner and then never have to go back, unless it's kind of something that Indigo Velvet or Retro did, where
like
they
a Larkins,
yeah,
like a support, like what you could some decent good bands
play
Sneakies obviously,
unless it's like a show that can offer value. But I feel like they're bigger than a Sneaky Pete's band at the minute, especially in Edinburgh.
You don't want to get stuck in that rut either. It's very easy for bands to just play Sneakies constantly for like 3 years. Definitely. And then suddenly you realize you haven't progressed.
Yeah,
3 years,
and that's a very Edinburgh thing as well. I feel like a lot of bands kind of like float around Sneaky Pete's because it's a statement venue, but also the jumps are quite large. They're pretty significant. Like it's not like you can go to a venue that is like.
We don't have like a many broadcast kind of thing.
Yeah. Like Glasgow has a venue like that goes up 100 or like 50 every kind of jump, whereas Edinburgh goes like Sneakies, then Opium, then Mash House, then maybe Caves. Yeah. And like that's a huge venue.
I mean, that's the same problem with Aberdeen as well. Is you have an 80 cap venue and you have a 300 cap venue.
Yeah.
And it's weird for the bands doing headlines because no one wants to headline the 80 cap venue. Before you know it. So Mike's rumbling. Before you know it, you've headlined all the venues in Aberdeen.
Yeah, and then, but then
where do you go from there?
Yeah, but then it's like making them, especially someone like a band in Aberdeen will find it really difficult by like trying to come down and like come down south and like play in Glasgow or Edinburgh. Like they might be able to sell 300 tickets up in Aberdeen, but they might only be able to sell like 3 tickets in Glasgow.
Yeah. So it's tricky.
Yeah,
I think it's difficult for the bands to even get like in the room and be given that opportunity.
100%.
Like there are bands in Aberdeen that, debating how much to say, but there are bands in Aberdeen who are good bands, very good bands.
Yeah,
and they just come down and just give them the shittest support slots.
Yeah,
and it's.
But it's just that's just based on perception, and like people might be a bit like. Oh, it's a band from Aberdeen, we'll just put them on first because they're not from Glasgow. Rather than basing it on like talent, they're basing it on ticket sales and stuff.
Even then though, like I know a band that did a show with a big promoter and they sold in Glasgow and Aberdeen, man, they sold like 35 tickets for it.
Yeah.
But then we're never given an opportunity again off the back of that. And they were quite frustrated by it because like we've been given the opportunity to show you we can sell tickets. We've sold 35. Why aren't we getting
given more?
Why are we just being given like the same?
Yeah. But I guess with that as well, it's like maybe they're waiting to offer them like
I suppose that's right for them.
Like a good show rather than just every other show.
It's about finding the balance with everything, isn't it?
You need. I guess it's like everything with coronavirus. You need to look at the positives and like try and make it positive rather than doubt yourself or like look at the negative things in every situation.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something I'm trying to That was like my 2020.
Stay positive.
Yeah, just
what were your 3 goals this year? Because I know you said you always set 3 goals at the start of a year.
Oh god, right. So the first one I've done, which is cool, and that was to do like a full European tour.
You did that with St. Phoenix.
And did that with St. Phoenix in February, and that was really cool.
Just in time.
Yeah, I know. Just before everything happened. The next one was like I wanted to tour like an academy tour in the UK, like kind of like venues over 1,000.
Which you almost did.
Could have.
Which was supposed to happen.
Basically going to happen with Twin, but obviously they had to pull the tour, which was gutting. But I mean, it's done in the right way, and like they had to do it. So I mean, that it's shit, but I mean, it had to happen, and there was nothing I could do about it. It wasn't like I didn't work hard enough to get it.
And you've got you're in the room now, you know.
Yeah, exactly, and they know who I am, and they've.
You get along well with them, yeah.
Yeah, like they're lovely guys, and at least I had like those 2 shows to prove that I can do it. Yeah. And then I don't know the third one actually.
Oh.
Oh god.
What was that, Rory?
Oh god, the coronavirus. No, I hope not.
I've been sitting in a room with you for the last 40 minutes. I hope not as well.
No, what was the third one? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Shoot swim school.
Yeah, what? Yeah, no, done that already as well. Actually, have I shot them? I only did video at their headline.
You did a few photos, didn't you? With a few nice ones.
A few sneaky ones, yeah.
Were you under strict instructions to behave?
Yeah, well, they've got their own photographer, so.
It was very good.
God, I need water. I'm dying.
Do you want to go get a water?
Yeah. 1 second.
So what was the stuff you filmed at the swim school headline for?
So we're actually about to go and do a little video now. So it's kind of just like a recap of the night. So I've done it. It's kind of like the videos that I've been doing for St. Phoenix and like Twin and
quite snappy.
Yeah. That's the type of thing, but also we're trying to like run with the theme. So I made a little video for how it should be when they went to the studio.
I like that actually. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it was like I filmed it and edited it, and then Alice actually made the audio for it, which is really cool. So I don't know what we're doing with audio actually for this one. Maybe just keep the live stuff, but it's kind of just like a little recap. I mean, we probably would have done it sooner, but I was away.
Did you not shoot the chemistry video as well, or parts of that, or what was the
chemistry one?
Retro.
Oh, that was at Liquid Rooms, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I shot. So with Retro, we kind of do like vlogs. So it's just like a little bit of a lead up to the day, or lead up to the show, and then the live show, and then kind of the end of it.
Have you ever watched the Art Monkeys like tour vlogs, tour videos?
No,
they're funny. But I can imagine Liam quite enjoying doing them.
I think like St. Phoenix do a thing called like St. Phoenix TV where they just kind of like muck around, and
the Art Monkeys ones are funny. It's like Matt Helder's kind of playing. Matt Helder is always the one who does the talking, kind of playing up the camera and like introducing and speaking about stuff, and he's quite a funny guy.
Yeah,
there's just a lot of it's obviously kind of put on, but some funny stuff in it.
I think that stuff that's like such good content for bands to have, like behind the scenes sort of things. Like I need to do that more with other bands. Like we did it with Yonaka a little bit on their tour like this time last year, but no, the chemistry one was shot by a friend of theirs who's in uni. I did like a vlog for that day. But yeah.
Well, you did the strip back night in thing as well, didn't you, with the strings?
Yeah, that was shot in 45 aside. Yeah, it was class. It was amazing. It was like Paul did the recording of it, like the audio for it, and then I just did like a 1-take video.
Which is tough.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Oh no, it'll be fine. Don't worry. I've had this for like today. No. I get this all the time when I'm like kind of nervous, but then right. Ask that question again.
I can't remember what I asked. Tell me, Rory. Who is Naomi Munn?
Naomi is a singer-songwriter that's on my roster with White Chord. She's 17. She is a very new artist. She's kind of like.
How long has she been putting out? Has she put out a single? She's got
one out.
Yeah, I've listened to it actually. It's pretty good.
Oh, thank you. Again, thank you on behalf
accepting
of her.
Praise.
She's put out one song. It was out in July last year, and that's how I found her. I stumbled across that tune, and she's kind of like we kind of use the description of like bedroom pop, like sad girl music.
I saw that, yeah.
Which I quite like, because it's like she's not a sad person, she's like lovely, friendly person, but like the
you
music.
say that, because you say sad girl, but then she's always smiling in all the photos.
Exactly.
So you can't do it in yourself, mate.
But the sad girl part comes from like it's an emotion filled music. It's like
some of it's a bit heavy, yeah.
Yeah, and that's like she's a big fan of, and so am I, of artists like Snail Mail and Soccer Mummy and stuff like that, and that's the kind of vibe that she wants to go for. I mean, being 17, she's in like high school at the minute, and she's doing exams and everything, so
pretty stressful, I imagine.
Yeah, so instead of me being like, right, we need to get the next single out, I'm kind of taking like a step back and just being like, get that done, and get that kind of bit of your life done, because that's so important. That's like those few months where I could be pressuring her to be like, do these exams. Just want her.
It's pretty fucked when you think about it, how your entire life is dependent on someone you do at 17 over the course.
Oh yeah, like I fucked my exams up massively, but I mean, I say I fucked them up. I just wasn't very good. Like I wasn't good at like.
But if you had
school.
done well, imagine where you'd be now.
I wouldn't be doing photography. I know that for a fact.
It's weird to think about. You wonder how many people are off doing that could have done incredible things, or off just sitting.
Yeah, sitting in offices.
I mean, you ever watched that short film about John Lennon if he quit the Beatles, like in or before they got big?
Oh, if he did it.
So it's a short film, about John Lennon and what would have happened had he quit the Beatles before they got big.
No, I've not.
Just check it out. I can't remember the guy who plays him, but he's really good at it.
Yeah, that's cool. I like those. It's interesting when you think of like what ifs and stuff like that. Like, I didn't get into uni when I applied, and I was like proper gutted at the time, but I got to go do some like amazing things on my year off, and like I had none of that planned in August when we got results, and by September I was like I was teaching in Korea. Like I went to Korea for 6 months.
Hold the bus. I never knew you taught in Korea. What's going on here?
Before.
I remember you said you went travelling, but you never said you taught in Korea.
Yeah, so
you've got the
I've got a Korean tattoo. Yeah. So my dad's a teacher, and one of his ex-pupils became a teacher, and he joined like the international teaching circuit, and basically he started a job in South Korea at this school. It's a partner school with North London Collegiate School in London, obviously. But
what was the middle word? North London
Collegiate.
What's collegiate mean?
I have no idea. I hope I'm pronouncing it right as well. But it's NLCS was the name that I saw, and it's in Jeju, which is an island off the bottom of South Korea.
Big island or
small-ish? Yeah. I mean, you can get very small actually. You can get from like one side to the other in 40 minutes or whatever.
Driving or walking?
Yeah, driving. Definitely driving. We did a big like cycle once, and it took us like 12.5 hours to get around like a quarter of it. But
that's bigger, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a decent sized island, but yeah,
moderately sized island.
Yeah. when I left school, applied for uni, didn't get in. I started looking for jobs in Perth because that's where I'm from originally, and just started to look at stuff like that. And one day my dad came through and was just like, "Oh, I've got an email from this guy who I used to teach. He's a teacher in a school. I think he'd be really good at like being a gap student, sort of like a helpful guy in the school." So he was just like, "You've got an interview at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Skype interview." So he was like, "Just get ready for it." And I was like, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" And he was just like, "Just be yourself and do it." So then woke up, did the interview, and then a week and a half later I was on a plane to South Korea for 6 months.
What?
And I was there for 6 months. It was mad. I spent like Christmas and New Year and stuff in Thailand. And
just like, by yourself?
No. There was 10 or 11 people.
Did you know anyone else that you were going over with? No.
Didn't even know the guy that like he was telling me.
Do you still keep in touch? Or?
Yeah, on and off. Like that was like 6 years ago when I first left. That's mad. I'm so old now. But like this just seems like yesterday. But like yeah.
Wait, how old were you when you went over?
I was 18. Yeah.
Man, 18 and you're going over to...
I'd never been out of Europe before. I'd been on like little family holidays and stuff like Turkey and things, but never been that far away. And yeah, just went.
It's a long way away. Yeah. Imagine being over there when this all kicked off.
That would have been horrible. Well, at that time, it was like the whole North Korea, like Oh,
So this would have been like 2014, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
This would have been when the interview came out.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Seth Rogen film.
It was like all that horrible shit like was happening there, and like I was there. But I mean, it was like being there and like chatting to people about it. They weren't worried because it was just like it's just again it's the media. Yeah, yeah. It's just the media like exaggerating stuff, which is could say that's happening now.
I was about to say, didn't the media hype this up?
Yeah, I mean,
they definitely created a sense of panic in regards to boat buying and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's like they created it and now they're complaining about it, but it's like
that's the media all over.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same with like look at NME, who voted the 1975 the worst band of 2014 and then proclaimed them the best of the decade 6 years later.
And it just makes no sense, but I mean that's just people
spineless.
Yeah, just media, man, awful people. I'm kidding.
As you look
give me a job, so
I hate when people do, the only time I ever get called a journalist is when someone's trying to insult me.
Yeah, but people are just jealous that you're doing well.
Not at the minute. Since all this is kicked off, I'm
the second interview / podcast you've done today already, so I mean that's pretty beneficial.
And the first one was swim school.
Yeah, I know. So it's unfortunate for you. No, I'm kidding.
They've had 2 interviews in their first year of a band. What's going on?
I know. I've had 2 podcasts in like the last 6 months. So
friend of the podcast.
I know. I think we should just do it together. We should co-host.
Come on the podcast and co-host if you want. Get on the mic. Oh,
that'd be good.
I'd quite like to do that where you have it. You just do the same podcast at the same people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. You just
chat about different things,
like current events and things.
Yeah, I guess you would have to have a news section.
Yeah.
If you get big enough, you get a question section where people ask you a question.
Oh yeah, I feel like we could do that. We should do that.
What a cute! No one would ask any questions.
Oh, we could put it out to the world and see what comes back.
Well, you've got quite a lot of followers, so you would probably get some questions.
I feel like they'd just be like, "Who is this guy? Who is your co-host?" Yeah, so I went to South Korea. Yeah,
man.
Going back to that, yeah. I thought I told you that.
I knew you were in South Korea, but I didn't know you were over there teaching for 6 months.
Yeah.
I knew you had a gap. What else did you do the rest of your gap here? You were off for a year, weren't you?
Yeah, my dad runs like a charity project in Kenya as well, so I went there for a month, which is like the classic gap year sort of thing. But yeah, I went there for a while. And
did you do volunteering or?
Yeah, so they work in a school and they work in an orphanage. So I just did that for a month or like a few weeks, and then came back and
what was just like teaching? Or?
Yeah, just like sports and like just like looking after like helping around the orphanage, like just doing simple stuff and like
that's good.
It's like it was so good and it's so rewarding.
I can sometimes be a bit iffy on volunteering, but I don't like if you're actually like going there and doing something like that.
Yeah, where
you need a person. It's when people like we did a thing, or my school did a thing in their 6th year where they all had to raise like 20 grand each to be able to go over to. It was somewhere in South America, and I think what they basically did was they were helping out, like building walls and stuff. But I was like, surely if you all raised the 20 grand and just gave them the 20 grand instead of using it to travel over there. Also, they had a holiday the week after they did it. I'm like,
see, we went over and like it was a summer camp that you'd run, so it was like it was during the break of school. Like we would go in and we would help teach and like.
But that's something there's actually a demand for, and you actually need people to teach. Whereas if you're going over to build. They were building like a wall or something. I can't remember what it was, but it's like surely
the thing with that is like you could look at it and being like, it's great that they're doing it and it's really helpful for the community, I'm sure. But also like you said, you could just donate the money and then give the money towards local people who could use it as a job and stuff. Like
yeah, I mean it just feels to me a bit like the whole. It just seems a bit entitled to saying that you're going to spend thousands of pounds flying yourself over there to do something. Yeah, that you could pay someone to do and still have money left over to give more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the money would be much better spent.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, like, not to like shit on them doing their volunteering. Like people are wonderful people who can offer like their services to help others, and like I'm sure that place was like very grateful for them being there. But I mean, it's like you said, you've got to use it wisely rather than just doing it to like post a picture with like kids like on your Instagram.
Don't even start with that.
Like, I mean. Just using it as sort of like clickbait. It's just like
it's like white privilege kind of, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, that's why a few people like frowned upon it when they knew that I did it. But then when I speak to them and tell them like how much I did, and what I
think it's different though because teaching is something that's actually there's a demand for. They need teachers.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I know like what I'm teaching,
but it's not. But it's not something that someone there might also be able to do. If you know what I mean.
But like also it's
Like
like
somewhere you're putting your skills to use and what you've been taught here,
Yeah,
because they don't have like as much of an education. You're putting that to use. Whereas if it's building a wall, for instance,
yeah,
anyone could do that with a bit of instruction. And if you're spending $5,000 to get yourself over there,
yeah, that could be $5,000 put to better use. But yeah, I mean,
and then going for a holiday after you've also
Yeah.
fundraised for a week.
I feel like you feel a bit bitter towards them.
I don't know, man. I knew the type of people that were going on it.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's fair enough. But I mean, yeah, so yeah, I did that. but hopefully like more beneficial than just building a wall. But did that and then just did like odd jobs. Like I was a labourer for a while, a gardener, a sports coach in the school that I was at, that my dad taught at. So yeah, just like did loads of stuff and then moved to Edinburgh.
and here we are.
And here we are.
Opposite end of travelling around the world. We're potentially going to be stuck indoors for the next
Forever.
foreseeable future.
Yeah.
What are you doing to keep yourself entertained? Are you reading a book? Are you listening to an album?
I've got a few books that I've been always meaning to like read.
You a big reader, or
No, I'm the furthest thing from it.
what do you do when you're on tour then to like entertain yourself? Is it?
Edit and take pictures, and then
Do you never switch off?
you can't really because of there's always stuff to be shot and always stuff to be
Yeah.
edited, and then if you're sat about doing nothing,
I mean, even when you're home though, can you switch off or?
nah, that's why I'm like finding this really hard. Like
Yeah.
I'm feeling a bit useless because I'm not editing, but I've also not got anything to edit. So
I feel like my problem is that I have to justify everything to myself as being something that's worthwhile doing.
yeah.
So I can read a book, but it has to be a book that I feel like I'm going to take something
Yeah,
from
yeah.
and learn, or it's going to affect me in some way
So
that I
you
find
read,
valuable.
like, theory books and autobiographies and stuff like that.
I like
rather than
autobiographies.
like, was it non-fiction
Fiction is
or
made up stuff.
fiction? Sorry,
But then, because
Just
I
a
quite
little
like
line,
writing as well, I can read, like if I'm writing very cathartic, so if I read something that I feel like is going to benefit me in that way, I can do it. But I tend to read a lot like classic kind of,
yeah,
if I'm going for fiction, I'll read classic stuff, and if I'm going for non-fiction, it tends to be books about musicians or stuff
Yeah.
like that.
a lot of mine are like just like music stories and stuff like that. Like that's what's at the minute. But then, don't know. I quite like the whole like kind of like thought like books about helping you with like mental health or like being your better person sort of thing. I quite like the idea of that. So probably gonna go into Watson's before it shuts and buy a few books.
Watson's, I like a good bookshop.
Yeah, the vibe
I've
in the
never really
bookshop's
got
always
into
nice.
self-help books.
I think they're really. I read one last summer, and that was probably the last book I actually read, and it was just kind of like
Which
Okay.
one was it?
again
Can't remember
I
now.
can tell you. I'll send you a picture of it.
Thanks.
But it was kind of like it's a book about like how you can help organize yourself and how it like just like organizing and like overthinking like is such a big thing that I do, and it's such a negative thing that you can do. So it's like trying to like
Yeah.
manage your overthinking to make it a positive rather than a negative. And then obviously it's all about like positivity, which is why I was like this year I like need to look at things positively rather than make everything negative.
That's my problem. I'm quite a negative. My outlook on the world is probably quite.
Mine can be really negative if I'm like just in a bad mood. But then also like last year when I was like away touring and stuff, I would always think about the negative. So like rather than like, oh, I'm getting to go to these places, it was always like, oh, I'm gonna be away from this, I'm gonna be away from that. Whereas
It's
like
in uni for.
yeah,
You have to do
I
the
mean,
catching
that
up when
was-
you get back and stuff.
yeah, I would always think about the catching up rather than I can do it when I'm away.
It must be pretty heavy on the workload. Like you go on tour and you're working hard, and then you come back and suddenly you've got to.
Yeah, I'm just trying
Catch
to
up with
balance
the uni
it.
work.
Like if I do have some free time, it'll be spent trying to do the uni work. But I mean, I'm doing it on music business and I'm working in music business, so it kind of like it works
Fits in
together.
well.
Yeah. So like a lot of like the stuff that I'm learning is kind of stuff that I'm learning on the job as well. So it's like it's kind of experience.
Yeah, it's
At least-
valuable.
I always tell that to the uni when I'm away for like the whole time. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you probably learn more being away on tour than you do being at uni.
yeah. I mean,
There's nothing better than experience to learn.
yeah. I think the lecturers aren't always that happy about me being away, but then
Are you someone who learns from doing though, as
Yeah.
opposed to yeah?
well, that's like me going back to me not getting to uni first time round. That's just like
You're not someone who can sit down and revise.
nah,
I'm not sure that's a positive way to learn either.
It's a memory test. It's not like what you know. It's like how well you can remember things.
And I think there's a lot. You find a lot of these people often that are good at that don't always have much common sense, and they
Yeah.
kind of fall down in other
Well,
areas,
like,
perhaps. Because no
yeah.
one's good at everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from one of my pals from back home was
There's-
always good
There's
at
always
everything.
one guy, isn't there?
He was
Or
good
girl,
at it.
but there's always like one person that's like class at sport, and then also like a really good singer or like really musical, but
He
drama.
He
and-
couldn't sing. He was. I don't think actually he probably wasn't that creative. Because he was actually
there you
he
go.
wasn't. Because we had to do creative writing stuff in English. He fell down because he was just. He was very like
Well,
set.
Well, my best friend from school was the Ducks or whatever. So like he got the best grades in the year. He like never didn't get an A star or an A in his exams, and then he was also like pretty decent at sport. He could play piano and everything like that. Couldn't sing. Like I heard him sing. He couldn't sing, but like
I guess you can learn to sing though.
yeah. But he was also like such a sociable guy and like such a good guy, and I was just like,
I don't trust people who are completely outgoing though.
well, I found me and him were like we're fairly opposite, but we got on, and that's why it worked. But then look at him now. I mean, he was planning to move to Singapore and stuff, so I don't know if that's gonna happen. But like, look at him now, and he's doing like this big career. But he always tells me how like jealous he is of me, because he always wanted to do stuff like creative, but he was just so clever that he couldn't let it go to waste.
That's a bit of a shame though.
Yeah, but then also like he loves his job, and
As long as he's happy.
exactly, I think he's on top of the world, especially if he gets to move to Singapore. But I mean, that could happen.
Maybe not right now.
Yeah, maybe in the future. But I mean, yeah, he's smashing it as well. Yeah.
What were the 3 books that you had to read? I was interested. You said you had a few books lying about that you've been meaning to get to.
One is about the guy who used to manage Alice Cooper. It's like super something. I can't remember the name, but it's basically the story about how this guy who I've started reading it already, and basically he pretended that he was a music manager to sell drugs, right? So he was skint, and he was in this hotel, and he walked into like a room where 2 people were having sex, or like walked to a sunbed and 2 people were having sex. He was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Next day realised one of the guy was Jimi Hendrix. And then he was in this motel.
As you do.
Yeah, exactly. And he was staying in this motel where basically all these famous people would stay, all these musicians and everything. And
What, 'cause it was a good hideaway, or
I don't even know, it was maybe just like a good spot to relax or something.
no one would
And
find you there?
yeah, and basically he started managing Alice Cooper as a front to sell drugs, and now he's like one of the most famous people in music management, and I can't remember his name. There's that one, and then one's about Coca-Cola and like the marketing campaign around Coca-Cola when it started.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I've had that for like 3 years and I just never touched it. And then I can't remember the other one. Oh, it's like,
Do you always get around to things, or like if you buy something, will you get around to reading that book at some point, or do they ever sit completely untouched?
now's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nah, like sometimes I'll like read a blurb of a book, or like hear good things and buy it, because I'll be like, I want to read, and then I just like get halfway through and then stop. But that's more of like a time thing rather than like not wanting to finish it. But yeah, I think hopefully over this current like period, however long it is, I'll be able to smash out a few books.
Yeah. Well, we might catch up in another couple of months and we'll still be sitting inside in isolation.
Yeah, I'll just stay here for the next few months. We can just keep releasing podcasts. Cool.
But yeah, cheers man, appreciate you coming by.
Thank you for having me.